Hey, everybody.
Hi, Melanie.
Sorry about the mix-up. I'm at my daughter's house right now. Come say hi. If you
Hi,
want.
everyone. Hi, hi,
My
hi.
oldest. Hello, hello.
Hello,
My
hello.
oldest daughter, Sarah. You're blurred out, but yeah. Yeah. Hi, Micah.
Hi.
All right. I'm on for about 5 minutes and then I'm gonna log off, but I'll tune in via my phone. Okay. So
Cool.
good to see everybody. I do love it. And I missed our open calls. This is nice. A spontaneous pop-up chat today.
That's right. Let's see here.
I love it. Okay. I'm going to log off the computer. I'm going to tune in via my phone and I'll put my earplugs in.
All right.
Okay. Have a great call, everybody.
Thank you. All right. So I thought it would be really kind of nice that we just had a regular CWS call, and I wanted to just discuss a little bit about the market because we've been here together for a long time. Some of you maybe, of course, are new in the sense that you got involved with our community through Cashflow NFT and Miracle, and but there's a history here. You know, we started CWS over 3 years ago, and I was in Sweden at the time, staying at my mom's place, and that's when COVID happened, and so we were all sort of, everyone had that additional space during COVID to be involved in something new, and the idea for us was to learn and understand this industry by trying and making mistakes together and having maybe some wins together. And those who stuck around long enough, we figured we'd eventually learn and understand it.
What is good?
And
What are a little juice, actually?
we have some background noise here. Let me mute all. Then we will make some. One second, everyone. I'm just gonna kind of do a little bit of housekeeping stuff here. I made you co-host, Christine, in case you needed it. Let me see if Raquel.
I'm here.
Yep, so I made you co-host here. Is Ray on yet? Nope. All right. Okay, so ticker for Germany. I have no idea. Ticker for Germany. Yeah, so then we started and we did a lot of different things, but initially when we started CWS, I said, okay, here's our goal with this community. And it was, of course, we wanted to win in crypto. So 3 to 5 years to be able to achieve a community success together. And then, we said that we wanted to have a culture of NBA, which would be never broke again. So it's because I had so many people, and we saw so many people that would win really big in crypto and then get wrecked completely. So they went up and then came down like a pancake. And then we also said that as a community, if we grow together, if we bond together, then we would eventually have companies that would want us to launch their company and represent their company. And we also said that we will have famous people speak at our events, and we've achieved that to a certain degree, but I think we'll have even more bigger names and people at our events in the future. And of course, we ended up sort of launching and being the community that's now building what I believe is going to be the top crypto company in the world. At least that's our goal. And if we fall short of that, that's okay, because the industry, I believe, is so big and so vast that having any kind of success in industry is going to help everyone in a very big way. So then now we've been through it together. We've been through becoming part of companies that took our money. We've had that happen. Okay, I have to mute I'll mute all of them. Entry. If you can help me mute Raquel, please. So we've been through, unfortunately, companies that basically was there to take our money. We've been through, buying tokens that got rug pulled and were nothing. And we've been through the successes, where we had a lot of people that came to the community and wanted to get out of their jobs, and then eventually they were able to do that. So we've had a lot of different successes there, and I believe that with what's happening with Miracle, we will have tremendous success happen for the community, and I believe that it is going to happen inside of that 3 to 5 years. So those are really, really amazing things. Now, everyone who's been here for a while, probably you would agree that we all got wrecked to a certain degree by the industry, and that's the tokens that we bought turned into nothing. And maybe there was a time where those tokens were worth a lot more than when we bought them. But we believed that we could just hold on forever, and the tokens would just stay there and, make us rich. And maybe we should have sold. Maybe we should have had some idea about when to sell. And if you look at the industry, and this is maybe for everyone who is new to the community, and maybe you're brand new to crypto and you're trying to understand it, because you hear different stories. You hear stories of success, and you hear stories of people getting wrecked, like, in a very bad way. We've had some that have come in and, they've basically thrown all their money into it, refused to sell, excited about making $1,000 or $2,000 a day on some sort of liquidity pool, decentralized exchange project, only to find themselves at the end of that completely wrecked, losing all their money. So, just wanted to kind of talk to everyone about this, because, Miracle Cash and More is an exchange, and the market is on fire, and there's coins that have increased now last week by 500% in a week. And these are coins that I've been looking at, and I bought a few, and my portfolio has, doubled in value, and we are in a very exciting bull market, because they've now allowed something called ETF. And actually, I did have the definition of that. Anyone? That's basically exchange traded fund. I don't know why that keeps slipping out of my memory, but exchange traded funds is inviting a whole nother group and huge funds and capital allocations to now buy into Bitcoin without having a Bitcoin wallet. So we're talking about trillions of dollars that's available now in a different way. People who were never interested in buying Bitcoin itself. They were, very, very experienced investors who said, I'm not going to touch Bitcoin until the ETFs. So as we go into something called the halving, the market is cyclical around that event called the halving. And what that is that Bitcoin was launched with a schedule of having 21 million Bitcoins go into circulation. And the way that Bitcoin became tradable and the way you have access to Bitcoin was computers would solve complex mathematical algorithm problems, I guess you could say. And in the beginning, 2009, 2010, 2011, you could do it with your laptop. And you would get thousands of Bitcoins having your laptop running and solving these math problems. And of course, at the time, Bitcoin was pennies or less than a penny, or there wasn't really a real established price until someone said, you know, if someone buys, you know, 2 pizzas for me, I'll send that person 10,000 Bitcoins. So then that was the first transaction of Bitcoin. And I guess that established a price. And so every certain amount of blocks, the amount of Bitcoin that's released to the computer that solves the problem is cut in half. So that means that, you know, on Tuesday, maybe there's 1,000 Bitcoin gets awarded. And when the halving happens, which would be, say, that Tuesday, Wednesday, when this solves the problem, instead of getting 1,000 Bitcoins, you get 500 Bitcoins. And then a few thousand blocks after that, it'll make it half again. And then it makes it half again and half again. And that's what's called halving. And so you have these miners who buy these expensive computers, and they set up these farms in like a warehouse. They'll do it maybe in an area where there's really cheap electricity. They'll do it in an area that's very cold because these machines run hot, and if they can lower the temperature by natural ways, they can make more money. And so now it's going up to that point where it's about to do a halving again. And that happens, I think they have a date sometime in April. So always leading up to this event, the market catches fire. It's like, you don't have to be that smart to kind of profit in crypto. You just got to play that cycle, you know, and that cycle really started maybe kind of in November. I mean, Bitcoin saw a bottom at, I think it was 15,000. And I've said this to people before, if we are as smart as we think we are, wouldn't it be reflected in that we would actually own a lot of Bitcoin at this point with all the evidence that we've had for all these years that Bitcoin is not going to stop? But so as that happens, then Bitcoin starts to move towards its all-time high. And every cycle, it sort of hits that all-time high before the halving. And then after the halving, you just have this frenzy happen where people are buying tokens, and those tokens are increasing by thousands and thousands of percentage points, making millionaires overnight. And then as quickly as all these millionaires became millionaires, they all get wrecked at the end of the cycle because maybe they stay in too long, they get too greedy because they want to hold on to their money. And in reality, those who are getting involved in buying these tokens, at the end of the day, 90+% of them end up losing their money to the 10% who are just a little bit smarter than them. And I think that most of us, maybe in CWS, maybe we were the 90%, maybe we didn't cash out on time, maybe we got wrecked because we got greedy. And maybe because of all that pain and all that loss, or the lesson learned in life is mostly learned through the pain of our mistakes. But maybe then we have that wisdom going into this market. And today is not about, it's not in any way financial advice. And everyone who gets into crypto to buy a coin because they want it to be worth more money later, and they want to sell it later, and they want to make money. Everyone who's doing that in our community, everyone knows it's very risky. This industry is very risky. It's very exciting because you can make insane profits in a very short period of time. And most end up losing because there is no magic money, right? Some of these projects, like your Ethereum, your Bitcoin, those are the two that I would say of the most established, and the ones that at the end of the day, if you buy some kind of meme coin like a Pepe or a dog with hat now that's blowing up, and Floki, and these things have increased by 1,000% plus. If you end up making 10 or 20,000 in those, you need to sell them, and you need to get the money out of those because they will go to zero probably, or something like that. And the best way to do that is maybe put it in to Ethereum or Bitcoin and hold for a long time. I think that you can accumulate like Bitcoin and never sell it and just have it. And those who never sell it and just have it, they can be collateral for loans, or you never have to sell it, and it'll continue to increase in price over time, because that's what it's been doing. You got countries who are putting Bitcoin onto their books. You have banks now that are putting Bitcoin onto their books. So this is the new gold. So there's some exciting things, and I wanted to show a little bit, just so everyone who hasn't seen how this works can get a little introduction to it. Ray, while I do this, do you want to chime in? This is
Yeah, can you hear me?
CWS. We haven't done this in a while, so it's kind of.
I know we're a little rusty on the CWS call. It's been a few Saturdays since we've been on, but yeah, I mean, right now me and Micah were just talking about it at lunch this week, and going over some coins, and he was kind of he's going to go over today is what he looks for as looking at market cap and volume and holders and whatnot, because so many people, and this has happened before, so many people buy a coin because everyone's talking about it. It can be on social media or at the water cooler or, amongst friends, whatever. And it's like the hot thing, and you just buy it and you don't even know why you bought it. You're just like, everyone's talking about it. But what I like, what Mike is going to go through is, really investigate and do your due diligence. And here's how, running the numbers, and then, like I said, like we always say, it's always, there's risk involved. But our big thing is, diversification, and Micah was sharing with me some of the memes that he was looking at this week, and I'm like, interesting. And some of them, like, man, they've gone up, 500, 1,000% in like 72 hours. I was just like, oh my God, if you would have put $100 in it, like on Tuesday, your life could be different on Saturday. That's how crazy this bull run's going to be. And a lot of experts are saying this bull run's going to last, 12 to 18 months. I mean, it could go for the next 10 years. You don't know, like a constant lineup, but it is an exciting time for all of us. And what I love is we're getting into this bull run where everyone's going to be talking about crypto. What timing for Miracle, and Mediterra, what timing to really bust out of the gates, and with everything we're about to do, it's just, man, talk about timing, but couldn't have planned it better. But yeah, so back to you, Micah.
All right. So let's look at how does all this sort of work? So I prefer CoinGecko. I don't know why. There's CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. So first of all, there's a lot of things going on social media. There's Twitter, there's Discord, there's Telegram, and there's a lot of traps out there where they basically like fool you to think that you're putting money into something legitimate, and they've made the site exactly the way the real site is, but it's a little bit different, because when you think you're buying a coin, you're being taken to the cleaners. So there's an aspect of be very, very careful with how you find where to go. And usually the best
Not
doorway.
yet. They
getting
have
to
to call me and let me know when to go over there.
I'm trying to mute them. I don't know who it
We
is.
have mute all up and entry, but I did mute.
I did that too. Let me.
Micah's muted.
Yeah, Micah, you're muted.
Okay. Okay. All right. So then, so this is sort of where you want to go, and you want to link out to whatever it is that you're looking to do. You kind of want to start here, because anything that's on here is going to be the real website, the real links to use. If you do it through a Telegram post or something, be very, very careful, because they could lead you to the wrong place, and you could end up losing your money to someone who's trying to steal it from you. Then we look at how many coins are listed here on CoinGecko's 13,170. I'm reading that, and that is actually a surprise to me as well. I'm sure a lot of people are surprised by how many coins are out there. You have 980 exchanges. The overall market cap, which means that if you bought all the crypto there is, you'd have to have $2.7 trillion at this point. The overall market cap is up 0.5%. And I think that number is maybe daily. I don't know if it's daily or hourly. I don't know. Then you have your volume. There was $130 billion traded over the last 24 hours. And then you have, when you look at the market cap of the entire industry, how much of that is Bitcoin? And right now that is close to 50%. Sometimes Bitcoin represents 60% or more. Because Bitcoin has made its run, what's happening now, and this is cyclical. First, it's kind of Bitcoin takes off and increases in price. Then after that, there's the altcoin market thing that happens. And so it's Bitcoin, and then people are in Bitcoin, they make money in Bitcoin, and they sell some of their Bitcoin to buy these other tokens, because the likelihood of those tokens doubling in value, price, or tripling in price, or quadrupling or more is more possible than in Bitcoin. For Bitcoin to double at its current market cap, it's what is this? 1,341,598,000,000. So you'd have to double that to 2.6 trillion. So that's a little bit harder to double that than a small token that's maybe has a $20 million market cap. It only needs to go to 40 million for it to double. 1 second, this thing moves around. Okay, so let's talk, since I did talk about market cap, and this maybe can also be helpful for those of you to understand, you know, when you buy Phoenix at a price before it's public, that price is set by us. So we're saying we're selling Phoenix at this price before it goes public. And the idea of that is that the price that we're selling before it goes public, our goal and aim is for that price to be lower than the price that happens publicly. And that is the goal for every project. Now, every project doesn't necessarily achieve that mission. It's all depending on the quality of what that token and that project is. I believe ours is amazing amount of value behind our token. But how do you come to that number? So what you have is how many coins or how many tokens there are in that project. So if it's Bitcoin, we know that it's 21 million, and that will be how many Bitcoins there will be, and there won't be any more, and it's impossible for it to be any more because it is a decentralized, trustless currency, which means you don't have to trust another person because the code itself is public. You can look at it, you can check it, and you can verify that there will only be 21 million. Now, if you are not a developer, you probably don't have that knowledge base to be able to do it, but there's so many third parties, so many people that have looked at the code and are verifying that is the case. So right now you have 19,649,562 Bitcoins in circulation. They've come out of the computers that are doing the math, have solved something, and they've been given the Bitcoin as a result of that. And that will continue. And I think the schedule for the last Bitcoin to come out of that is like 100 years away. Because at the end of the cycle, what happens is, and you know, some of you know this, but Bitcoin is one coin, but it's fungible. So you can have half a Bitcoin, you can have a quarter of a Bitcoin, a tenth of a Bitcoin, a hundredth of a Bitcoin, a thousandth of a Bitcoin, 8 decimal points. So as the Bitcoin price per coin increases, at some point, we won't be talking about Bitcoin so much. We will probably be talking about Satoshis. And that's the 0.0080 and a 1 is 1 Satoshi. So the conversation will be about that, because at that point, Bitcoin's price is probably like $1 million. And no one has a whole Bitcoin. And if you know someone that does, they're like a celebrity. And I had a bunch of it in my wallet in early last bull run, but somehow these coins have a hard time staying in people's wallets. Anyway, so what you do is you take, this is how you get market cap. You take circulating supply, the 19,649,000 and change, times the price of Bitcoin, which is now 68,195. And we actually last night reached an all-time high, which was 70,000 something. I think it was up here somewhere. And that was an all-time high. It's the highest. It did hit 70, I don't know. It's the highest that Bitcoin has ever been. And so the cycle of this halving and how Bitcoin reaches its highest point, it's all playing according to the schedule. Only this time it's a little bit early, and we believe it has to do with the Bitcoin ETFs. There's this insane amount of demand for Bitcoin, and there's not a lot of Bitcoin being produced. So that's part of the bull run now. I think it's going to be a little bit different. Anyway, so then you get to the market cap, which is 1,340,000,000,000, 9 million, blah, blah, blah. And that's how you always do it. Then the other thing that's also important is total supply. And total supply is usually more than circulating supply. So you could have a circulating supply market cap at a certain number that's considerably low, and you might feel it's worth it to buy that token. But then if you look at total supply and you do the market cap, and now all of a sudden it's $1 billion market cap, it may affect the way that you would think about that token. And you also, for those who are very high level crypto entrepreneurs, they will look to see what is the schedule of the rest of the tokens that'll be dumped onto the market. Because when you dump more tokens onto the market from the total supply into the circulating supply, it could have an effect on the price of the token by decreasing. So these are high level strategic ideas and conversations that come up as people are looking for tokens to invest into. I hope I'm not boring you guys. So then you have different types of cryptocurrencies, and you would go into categories. And so you have what's called layer one. Layer one is that's the massive projects, the millions of lines of code. It's what carries other projects on top of it. So Bitcoin is its own layer one, but it's not a smart contract type chain. But Ethereum is what's called a sort of a smart contract type chain. So you can build tokens using the Ethereum blockchain. So the Ethereum then would be layer one, and then you have layer two, which is built on top of layer one. So you look at layer ones here, and it could also be the same under smart contract platforms. This I don't know. This is a new category, alleged SEC securities. Don't know that. I have to research that. Stable coins are tied usually to the dollar. So one of these tokens equals $1, and that should not change if it's a good one. People use these stable coins to take profit. If they're trading, for instance, and they have a lot of profit, then they'll go in and buy, say, USDT, so that they can lock in the profits there, because it's going to be pegged to the US dollar. So it's not a volatile coin. You don't buy those for them to go up in value. You basically buy them to lock in profits, or to store your funds outside of the volatility of the market. Then you have exchange-based tokens. You got decentralized finance, centralized exchange tokens. Coinbase, not 100% sure what this is, but this could be all, maybe all the tokens that are on Coinbase. So some of these I haven't researched. You have your meme coins. Those are usually kind of the fun market. People play these, and this is kind of like, I would consider this a little bit more on the gambling side, where you can get completely wrecked, but you can also make a lot of money. So, you go down these and you see all of these different categories of coins, and they have different commercial intentions. You got your gaming, you got your this, you got your that. Usually when the market moves, it moves in these different sectors. So we've been in what's called kind of the meme coin movements. A lot of these meme coins have moved a lot. So one of the sites that I use to see that is a site called Banter Bubbles. And you can kind of look at, so here's all the red is everything that's been going down. And the setting right now is on the top 100 to 200 tokens, and it's the last hour. And you can change this to today. So today, you see today's been kind of a good day. If you move to top 100, you see what's happening. Gala, I love that because I got Gala nodes. Mana is gaming. So this is kind of a good way to kind of get a picture of what's happening in the market. And you can go out and look at the week. So the week has been positive. So everyone who's owning tokens this week are very happy. You got render at 55% more than it was the week before. Shiba is up 73%. This is dog with hat. That's a meme coin. It's up 80%. So these are amazing for people. Everybody's having a good time, you know. But when it's red, like the last hour, this is maybe not such a big deal. It's a little bit of a dip, but you know, people are a little bit depressed. There's another site that actually looks at the emotion of the market, and it shows where the emotion is and how that plays in to how the market's going. Okay. So another thing that people do is they follow maybe some YouTube influencers, some channels that talk about the market. They discuss what's happening in finance. They discuss what's happening in tokens. They talk about their portfolios. Then you have other groups that show people how to trade. And trading is extremely hard. Most people lose money trading, but there's certain personalities that do well with that. Then you have all your exchanges. You have the NFT market, non-fungible token markets, learn crypto reports and all that. So people are either drawn to this or they're not drawn to this. And if you're drawn to it, it's a good thing because you could spend some time and you can learn about different tokens. So what I'm doing now, and I talked to Hakan, is we have about 100 tokens that we've put onto Miracle. And we are now in our stage as an exchange, as we're growing the company. We have basically a swap on Miracle. Our spot trading, we haven't launched that yet. It's built, it's ready. User spots are very close to delivering. The new site, it looks amazing. But we're going to be adding more tokens to the exchange. And what I've been doing with, you know, in there is I've just been buying certain tokens and holding on to them. And some of these tokens are making, you know, thousands and thousands of dollars of profit in just a few short days. And the way that I sort of learn about it is I listen to different influencers. I'll go and see what the project is about, and then I'll get a sense of what everyone is talking about. What's interesting now in this stage of the market, it doesn't take a genius to make money right now. The problem is there comes a certain point where, you know, you could see something like value go down just like that. So the key here is, you know, not to be greedy. It's to look and see what are the profits that you've made. Don't get married to a token. You can get out of it like that. And usually maybe looking at how much you've put into a token, try to get that money out as quickly as you can. And I have nothing against people holding on to certain coins, but understand this, that there is a future where even a Solana could go and lose its value by 70% from the higher values. Bitcoin, of course, we've seen that volatility. So there's the long-term thinking, then there's the short-term thinking. So if you hear about a token, you can, on this exchange, look at it. I hear a lot about render. So I look at what's going on with render. Render is, now a very high valued market cap, $4.5 billion. Still increasing in value. If you compare that to Ethereum, which is 200 or 300 billion, it's still small. You talk about fully diluted valuation. You see what the volume is, circulating supply. And then if you want to buy the token, you can click on markets and it'll tell you where can you get this token. And I don't see, there could be a decentralized exchange here that I'm not aware of. But you need to sign up with the exchange. If it's not a decentralized, if it's not a smart contract exchange, yeah, it says SCX, which means centralized exchange, then you have to sign up and you have to do the KYC to be able to trade that coin. I believe we have render on Miracle, so you can also purchase it there. And we will soon also be an exchange that will show up on CoinGecko. So the other thing is doing research. If you wanted to add this token to your wallet, you can do that by clicking this icon or saving this contract code. So render is a layer 2. You can see that it's built on Ethereum. So it is an ERC20. And this is the contract address for render. So if you want to add that to your wallet, you would copy the contract. You can go to your wallet and open it up, add token, paste the contract in there, and then the token is added there. If you bought this token and sent it to your, say, MetaMask wallet, and you hadn't added the wallet first, it's still going to be in your MetaMask wallet. You just can't see it on the wallet itself. But when you add the token, it does show up in your list of tokens. And then on here, you have all of the real links to these coins. So you can click on going to the websites. You can go check out the white paper. So if you're doing your job, your due diligence, then you go through all of these things to figure out and maybe understand what the project is. Why is this company doing so well? What problem does it solve in the world to where this is a good project to be part of? Some people do more thorough research than others. Some people are just trying to kind of follow along with the trends, buying into the token, make 20, 30, 100% profit, and then get out of the token, So there's many different ways, but thorough research, of course, you're going to the website. And hopefully, is this showing the new site, Ray? When I clicked on that? Are you there, Ray? Or Raquel?
Yeah, I can see it, Micah. The Render
It's
Foundation.
moving, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you sort of, what are they doing? Why are they doing it? What is the solution they're providing to the world? And does this make sense maybe to you? And so you kind of go through all of those questions for yourself. So that's sort of the research. They have some copy on here. And then, you can listen to people who cover tokens, on YouTube or whatever. And, they do educate and they talk about what's happening. And they also have maybe some inside information. They might be in touch with the company. They're telling them what's happening. So they'll kind of share some exciting news about these companies and what's happening. But, what you could see, like, I purchased a token based on just hearing different people talk about this token. And in a week, it increased by 800%. So when you look at that, so okay, 800%, that's an amazing amount. Great run. And for me, what I do is then right there, I sold enough to take the original money that I bought the token with out. So now I'm sitting on the token, the money I put in originally, I have back. And, you know, I'll probably keep selling and putting those funds to the side so I don't get wrecked if the market corrects or crashes or whatever you would say. Last time around, my experience was I took a lot of money out of the markets to invest into Miracle. And I took a lot of money out of the market to buy a condo, you know? And as I was doing it, my experience was it was hard to sell what I had because you kind of fall in love with them because they've gone up so much. You know, you know, if you have the means, it doesn't matter what the number is. If you put 1,000 into a token and then now it's worth 10,000, it's like your best friend, right? You want to just, you know, stay with that token, and it's because it sort of like changed your life or whatever. If you don't learn to sell, you will lose, because 90% plus of people that get in and buy these coins, they lose because it's everyone trying to beat everyone else. It's not like this friendly, nice community when it comes to buying and selling tokens and everybody's making money together. No, at some point, there will be a group of people that walk away with all the money. When the market crashes, that's the end result. So you have to manage your own greed. Don't get greedy. Be reasonable about, you know, how you hold and have a plan. So maybe you say that if I buy a token and say, let's say that token doubles in value, then it's like, okay, to double in value, I'm going to now take my original money that I put into the token out. And then if it doubles again, then maybe you take some out so that you've made 50% or 100% on the token. And I'm only saying these big numbers now because that's what's happening in the market. As you can tell, the market is absolutely on fire. So, you know, you kind of want to understand that. What's beautiful here, what's happening with the market is we're playing our Phoenix token launch right into this euphoria. Euphoria is everyone's buying, all fear is gone. Everybody thinks, you know, nothing can go wrong. And you have to also be careful with when that euphoria reaches a certain place, that's when things go south. But what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about going into a time frame here where market's going to go up a lot, but you will have corrections. And the corrections are a lot based on, there's a lot of people that sort of gamble and they trade with leverage and they overextend themselves. So when the market corrects and takes a dip, then those people who are, you know, maybe they have a $10,000 account, but they're doing $100,000 trades that are doing 20%. So they're doing $20,000 profit in a matter of hours. And they get so in that bubble of nothing can go wrong. And then when the market takes a dip, they get completely wrecked, which is like they lose all the money they had in that account is gone in a matter of a couple of hours, and they can't sell. And boom, the machine itself sells their position, and basically that's it. They're done, because leverage takes all your money. If you trade without leverage reasonably, you're much safer. You don't make as much when it moves up, but you also don't get wrecked in 3 or 4 hours. And I've seen it happen to friends of mine. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars gone in a matter of hours. So all of that being said, we really are looking at that we are going into a time where if the past is going to show us what the future looks like, which you don't want to hang your hat on that, but you want to understand that, you know, this has been going on for now 15 years, the same kind of thing. you know, market going up, halving happening, market goes up, and then all of a sudden it starts trending back down. And then a couple of years later, market's going up, and then it comes back down. So if the past equals the future, then we're looking at a run of coins increasing in value over the next like 12 or even 12 months or longer than that. We may be looking at Bitcoin price reaching anywhere from $150,000 to $300,000, because last time it went from 3,000 to 69,000, which is 20 times what it was at the bottom. And this time our bottom was 15,000. So if it has the same math, then it would be 20 times 15,000 would be where Bitcoin would top out and then come back down to a higher low than it was before. So the market moves with Bitcoin. That's just kind of how it is. So if Bitcoin's trending up there, then we'll see all these other coins and projects also trend up. And so you could have several months worth of excitement, but you can also have corrections, and you could maybe buy in at the wrong time, and maybe you're taking like, you know, money that means a lot to you, and you know, you put say 5,000 in, and all of a sudden, like within a day, the value goes down to 2,500, and you're panicking, and you're saying, well, if it's going 2,500, what if it goes to 1,200? And then you're like, oh, well, let me sell, right? So then you're buying high and you're selling low, and all of a sudden when you sell, it's, you know, half of the money is gone. So you really do want to understand the emotional roller coaster. If you do participate in this, there is an emotional roller coaster for sure that is designed for you to sell your coins cheap and buy coins high. But we're still at the bottom of the market, so it's less of that, but it still exists. And everyone in the market is out to take your money. That's the reality. And so you got to be a little bit smarter than the market is. And I think the way that you're smarter than the market is basically be reasonable about the money that you're making. Don't start dreaming that you're going to, you know, put in $1,000 and then pull out $1 million. Like if you put in $1,000 and you pull out 1,200, that's a win. You put in $1,000, you buy a coin and you pull out 1,500, that's a win. A 3,000 is a win. And you need more wins than losses to win in this. Then you have the other reality of things, and that's buying to hold on for a long time. Bitcoin has every investment in the world has lost comparably about 99.7% against Bitcoin. So if you haven't gotten involved in crypto yet, or if you haven't never bought Bitcoin, everything that you've done has lost 99.7% against Bitcoin. And that's an incredible dominance. That's why what's happening right now is companies, governments, private investors are all going and putting a percentage of their portfolio behind Bitcoin because it has completely destroyed the competition. Had you put $100 in Bitcoin in 2011, some nerdy friend you know talks to you about, he's always on the computer and he talks to you about this thing called Bitcoin, and you hear it and it sounds absolutely crazy to you. And immediately you're going to reject it and go, what is this, like, what is it, computer game money? Like, why would I put money in that? But had you had the insight that your nerd friend had, and you put $100 in Bitcoin in 2011, you'd be a millionaire today from that $100. We didn't do that, but there is no stopping the increase in value of Bitcoin. As you can tell, it's only getting more and more popular. And it could be that it is the new money. And if you see what I said on the presentation the other day was, there's $1 trillion of debt added to United States, which is the dollar, every 100 days. And because the debt grows every 100 days, the next time that it adds $1 trillion could be the next 80 days. And then the next time it adds $1 trillion could be the next 60 days until it's the next week. Okay, 1 second. Why is this popping up on my?
Hey, Micah, when you get a chance, will you make Ray co-host? He's muted and wasn't able to respond to you.
Okay, all right. Sorry, everyone. I don't know why these things pop up on their own. So let me do that. So my point is this. Everything that's based in fiat, which is dollars and euros, and especially dollars, is losing really fast against Bitcoin. And Bitcoin's getting stronger and stronger and stronger till we get to a point where you have to secure the world under Bitcoin. So it may be the foundation for the future of money, because it has to be, because money really became debt. So legal tender is a promissory note, and it's all debt, and it's all fake money. And it's basically the biggest Ponzi scheme the world has ever seen. And so money is now being abused even by United States with how the debt and how they're not balancing the budget, of course. So they're just printing and printing and printing and printing. And so you're going to see sort of the end of that. And we spoke in the presentation as well that, you know, kids born today, they won't know a world where there is banks. You have some things happening now with commercial real estate and the loans on this commercial real estate, because companies, you know, people are working from home, and so you have some big problems. I think there was a bank just the other day that I think is failing. So there's some changes happening. So embrace what's happening, and maybe park some of your fiat in Bitcoin, just to kind of, like we said on the call with Ray, have a toe in it, right? So most of you have interest in Miracle, some ownership in Miracle. That's great. We're building that company for the future. Most of you have our Phoenix token and what we're doing with the Phoenix token project. I believe, you know, if you go down the list of all these different projects, you won't find a token that has as much utility and so many amazing, valuable things that back that token. So I believe we will be very, very successful in that project. So I don't
Hey,
know.
Micah, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if you want to take maybe a question or two on this subject matter, on nothing else, on this subject matter, if you want to open it up real quick.
Yeah, just so you know, we have a lot of really good projects in Miracle right now in the Miracle Exchange. It's a swap situation, but you can definitely buy your tokens in the Miracle Exchange. Hold on to them. Maybe I'll post some links to some what I think are good crypto educational YouTube channels that I follow. And I will be giving Miracle a list of tokens and projects that I think are really good that we will add to the exchange, so that's easy for you guys to maybe put some money into some of these coins. And then, you know, again, this is not financial advice. You are 100% responsible for the actions that you take. You can in crypto lose all your money. So also it's not hard to buy. It's not hard to buy a coin that goes up in value. What seems to be very hard is for people to when to sell so that they can take profit. So be aware of that. If you have something that goes up a lot, 100%, whatever, have a rule for yourself. When are you gonna, if you buy a token that does well, how are you gonna take profit? At what point will you take profit? And don't break your own rule. So if you say, if I make 50%, if it goes up by 50%, I'm gonna take out what I originally paid for, you know, or 100%, I'm gonna take out what I originally paid for. And then have some rules, and stay safe. Don't invest anything that you can't afford to lose. And yeah, that's sort of what I want to share. So yeah, I'd love to take some questions. I know there's been some chats going.
Yeah, if those of you have questions, let me see. Let me go to the chat.
And I'll kind of open this screen again here, and I'll sort of say what I'm seeing is my top 100 today. Gala is a great gaming token. Render, I keep hearing Render, Near, FET. A lot of people talking about those projects. Meme coin, dog with hat, but it's been going up a lot. Bonk, also meme coin. Pepe meme coin. Floki meme coin. Shiba is of course up there, but those market caps are really high, so it takes a lot for those to double. Doge, of course. A lot of conversation about AVAX and Rune. Those who were in Pulse, the sacrifice, Pulse has been moving, and I think my Pulse of what I sacrificed, I have about the same amount now. So now is where Pulse, and for those who are in Pulse, you want to start looking at, you know, where do you have it? Have you downloaded the Pulse chain onto your MetaMask? And if you needed to sell, do you know how? And if you don't know how, then just, you know, you can go to YouTube and say, hey, I have Pulse. How do I sell my Pulse? How do I see what I have? If you did the sacrifice, maybe you haven't even done that step, but I'm seeing some great signs that it could be a very nice run for Pulse as well, for those of you who are involved in that.